there are real pollution risks with coal mining, and it's not just about climate change, but also the fact that these risks are getting bigger. We're digging up more and more overburden all the time for every tonne of coal. The mines are getting bigger. The scale of these pollution risks is getting bigger, and therefore the legacy that we're potentially leaving to future generations is so much bigger than we've ever dealt with before.
Across Australia, the impacts on communities are also getting bigger. Coal mining companies destroy villages and communities, not just by physically wiping them off the map, but by eroding the less visible structures that hold them together.
There's nothing we can do about it. We've got to just live and bear with it, and yet the mine's 500 metres that way.
It's not about the money, it's about the land and looking after the land.
Now we're losing our land and what's under it for greed. That's all it is, it's greed. It's not coming back to Australia to help us.
35 properties just for Rocky Hill alone have gone. That's 70 people if it's a two-person family conservatively. So if we're not so conservative, it's 100 people, plus the people that worked on those farms. And in the middle is a $1 million, absolutely brilliantly run dairy farm, fourth generation dairy farm, best on the New South Wales East Coast. That will also end up in the hole in the ground.
This is often the first thing that people, the first involvement they get with coal is just hearing secondhand or in the paper or via friends that a company has the right to come onto their land by law and explore and drill, and before you know it there's an open cut coal mine in your community. And I will never forget the week that I discovered this. It was just gut-wrenching. It felt like a cancer diagnosis had been put on our land.
The experience is all of that threat, and it's just a horror story.
As the miners move in and buy out landholders, communities are depopulated. In places like Wandoan, school numbers are declining, and local service clubs and volunteer organisations like the Rural Fire Brigade are collapsing.
Most likely if you sat down and brought into account the number of the Yellow Shirt Brigade living in town, your population wouldn't have varied much. But those people do not contribute anything to the social fabric of the town because they're only here for a fortnight and they're gone away.
3 years ago, the mine Rio Tinto announced they were expanding their mine, open cut mine, to within 2.6 kilometres of us, which really spelt the death knell for our village, because Warkworth and Ravensworth had both gone the same way. We were determined not to go that way. It would have created a coal face of about 11 kilometres long and simply advanced towards us to within 2.6 kilometres. The thing we find about Bulga is it's got a tremendous social infrastructure. It's socially, it's something you don't get in the big cities, and this is what we were defending.
What we really want is just the land to be left alone. Where is this coal going to?
Japan.
What are we getting out of it?
We drove over to Ravensworth the other day with showing my son, where my parents used to play tennis and dances were there and school was there. Well, it's just a ghost town. Leamington Village over here, just over the river, it had a hall, tennis courts, a thriving little village, nothing there whatsoever. Warkworth, totally gone. Camberwell, all but gone.
Camberwell has been absolutely done by, I think it's criminal negligence, where they treated the people of Camberwell, and some of the things that it's atrocities. You would never think you would do that to any form of population of 150, 200 people, covering them in dust, noise, blasts, which they couldn't breathe, and you've got illnesses now, Camberwell cough.
Camberwell is a village that's surrounded on three sides by large open cut coal mines. This fourth proposal on the southern side will definitely be the death of that village, but also it's threatening one of our champions in the Hunter Valley, Wendy Bowman.
Apparently, people don't matter, especially people on the land in agriculture. We're a nuisance to them because we complain.
I am really opposed to the way they rape and pillage the land and then walk away from it and leave it like a lunar landscape. They only employ a handful of people, and some of those people don't even live locally. They buy no products from the town.
Our farm sits right above the coal seam, so in that sense, we're directly impacted, but it's more the landholders and the people in the community. We have neighbours who are ill or who wish to sell their properties. I mean, there's people affected all over the place. The human interest story and the damage these people do to communities, I think, is something that we don't talk enough about.
People are living with this enormous cloud over them. What is going to happen? Will we be able to stay here? Will we be able to run our business? How will it impact on our ability to produce the food? You know, we've trained all our lives and our heart's actually in this. We love what we're doing. What else could we possibly go and do?
This has a human face. There are people for whom this mine may as well have started in July 2010. Since then, their lives have been frozen, their assets have been frozen, their properties and collateral is absolutely illiquid, they can't renew overdrafts. Communities are nothing more than roadkill for the Mining Act.
Our farm will definitely not be viable if Dorset Mine goes ahead, because we'll lose all our underground water. The subsidence will be massive. You've got to remember, they proposed 4 longwall seams underneath us. We've got a lot of underground irrigation mains and all that. The houses would be destroyed, everything. You just cannot mine like they say and live there. You can't. Our farm would be destroyed. In other words, our livelihood and your lives.
The elephant in the room is the mining industry. And the mining industry currently, as I said at the National Press Club, is the upper house of Australian parliaments. No one seems to be prepared to do anything without getting the sanction and approval of the mining industry.
Today is a show of strength. There's one person living in the town, and look how many people have showed up. They've come from far and wide to help make a statement. The young people that we honoured today that gave their lives so as we can farm this beautiful agricultural land, not to see it dug up for 20 years of wealth. And that's what today is all about. I know it's Anzac Day, we shouldn't get political, but I am a bit bloody political today, and that's how it is.
This mob have come in and abolished, demolished, vandalised, depopulated the area where I was born and went to school, and are taking all the money and paying not 1 cent in royalties to the government.
Hi Dad, you sure have been gone a long time now. I'm now grandmother of 2 little girls, and you would have loved them. You used to say that you fought for our land and our freedom, but none of your children were born when the war ended. We are still fighting for our land and our rights. This time we are inviting foreign interests into our country and selling them our land and our resources. Do we fight and not surrender like the wild colonial boy? Maybe it'll be like the suffragettes, and our daughters' daughters will adore us. I will put a wreath on the RSL Memorial at Acland again this year on Anzac Day in the park, lest we forget.